Good morning, everyone. Well, it's June 10th, and I turned on the channel, the news channel. I have been watching a lot of news lately, um, and it's amazing what's going on. And I want to applaud the millions of people that have stood up to police injustice. And I'm going to play about a 10-minute recording of what's going on right now live in Capitol Hill. It's the House Judiciary panel on police brutality. They're going to make some fantastic reforms. They're tearing down statues all over the country and the world of people that did slavery, and even Christopher Columbus. He was a slave owner. So we're making. The good news is, the fantastic news is, when we stand up in unity, like we have with millions of people protesting, peaceful protesting, we can make a change, and the change is occurring. We're going to have a better police department. We shouldn't get rid of the police department by any means, but by correcting the wrongs. And most police are fantastic. They're saving our lives. They're protecting us. But there's some bad apples. We need to get rid of the bad apples. So this is fantastic. Stay tuned. Watch this. It's about 8.5 minutes. And if you missed it this morning, you've got it here forever. Share it with your friends. It's really fantastic news that change is happening in America and around the world. Be fantastic, everyone. I hope everyone shares this and joins the Be Fantastic movement, because fantastic people are kind and considerate and friendly and polite and civil, and that's what we need to create a more civil society. And the Be Fantastic movement has 311 members, actually ambassadors of positivity, a couple thousand followers on this YouTube channel. Be Fantastic. Share it, like it, subscribe, and let's make a difference in the world. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Just and equitable for all Americans. The goal of this legislation is to achieve a guardian, not warrior, model of policing. The Justice in Policing Act is at once bold and transformative to meet the moment that calls out for sweeping reform, while also taking a responsible and balanced approach to the many complicated issues associated with policing. I look forward to bringing it before our committee in short order. To the activists who have been sounding the alarm for years only to be ignored or greeted with half measures, it is because of your persistence and your determination that we are here today. If there is one thing I have taken away from the tragic events of the last month, it is that the nation demands and deserves meaningful change. We can and should debate the specifics, but at the end of the day, it is the responsibility and the obligation of the House Judiciary Committee to do everything in our power to help deliver that change for the American people. I look forward to hearing from our witnesses, who bring a wealth of knowledge and experience on the many issues we are examining today, and who will help guide us in that process. But first, I want to address just one witness, Philonise Floyd, the brother of George Floyd. We are all very sorry for your loss, and we appreciate your being here today to discuss your brother's life. We must remember that he is not just a cause, a name to be chanted in the streets. He was a man. He had a family. He was known as a gentle giant. He had a rich life that was taken away from him far too early, and we mourn his loss. This is a very difficult time for our nation. We have lost more than 110,000 people to COVID-19, a toll that has fallen disproportionately on people of color. We have lost brave police officers and other frontline workers who risk their lives to serve their communities. And we have lost George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and the many, many other victims of excessive force by law enforcement. We must act today to honor their memory. I now recognize the ranking member of the Judiciary Committee, the gentleman from Ohio, Mr. Jordan, for his opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank all our witnesses for being here today and extend our sympathy to Mr. Floyd and Ms. Underwood Jacobs. We are, as the chairman said, all so sorry for your loss and for what your families have had to live through and had to endure. Mr. Floyd, the murder of your brother in the custody of the Minneapolis police is a tragedy. Never should have happened. It's as wrong can be. and your brother's killers will face justice. Miss Underwood Jacobs, the murder of your brother by the rioters in Oakland is a tragedy. It never should have happened. It's as wrong can be, and your brother's killers will face justice. There are 330 million people in this great country, the greatest nation ever. Not perfect, but the best nation ever. And they understand, the American people understand it's time for a real discussion, real debate, real solutions about police treatment of African Americans. Americans also understand that peaceful protest, exercising their First Amendment liberties, honors George Floyd's memory, and it helps that discussion, that debate, and those solutions actually happen. The people of this great country, you know what else they understand? You know what else they get? They understand that there is a big difference between peaceful protest and rioting. There is a big difference between peaceful protest and looting. There is a big difference between peaceful protest and violence and attacking innocent people. And there is certainly a big difference between peaceful protests and killing police officers. You know what else they get? You know what else the American people fully understand? They know, as the chairman said, the vast majority of law enforcement officers are responsible, hardworking, heroic first responders. They're the officers who protect the Capitol, who protect us every single day. They're the officers who rushed into the Twin Towers on 9/11. They're the officers in every one of our neighborhoods, in every one of our communities, every day, every night, every shift they work, who put their lives on the line to keep our communities safe. And guess what Americans also get? Guess what else they understand? They know it is pure insanity to defund the police. And the fact that my Democrat colleagues won't speak out against this crazy policy is just that frightening. Think about what we've heard in the last few weeks. We've heard the mayors of our two largest cities. Mayor Garcetti said he wants to defund the police. The mayor of New York says he wants to defund the police. The city council in Minneapolis, a veto-proof majority, says they want to defund the police and abolish the department. This Congress started off with the Democrats, folks on the left saying we should abolish ICE, then moved to we should abolish the entire Department of Homeland Security, and now they're talking about abolishing the police. This is wrong, and the American people know it's wrong. We should honor the memory of George Floyd and work hard so that nothing like it ever happens again. And we should honor the memory of Dave Patrick Underwood and work hard so that nothing like that ever happens again. A week and a half ago, our mission was clearly stated. 11 days ago in Florida, the President of the United States clearly stated what our mission should be. President Trump said this: "I stand before you as a friend and ally to every American seeking justice and peace, and I stand before you in firm opposition to anyone exploiting tragedy to loot, rob, attack, and menace. Healing, not hatred, justice, not chaos, are the mission at hand." Well said, Mr. President. Healing, not hatred, justice, not chaos. That is our mission. The President is right, and I appreciate his leadership. This is the House Judiciary Committee, with its storied history of defending the Constitution and the rule of law. Let's adopt that mission. Healing, not hatred, justice, not chaos. Let's work together to make America the great place, to continue to make America the greatest nation ever. That I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. I now recognize the chair of the Subcommittee on Crime, Terrorism, and Homeland Security, the gentlelady from California, Ms. Bass, for her opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank you for your years of leadership on this issue. I know you've been involved for many years supporting police reform, and I want to thank you for convening this hearing today. What we saw in Minnesota, the slow, torturous murder of George Floyd by a uniformed officer, was an outrage and a tragedy. What we have seen since then, millions of Americans marching in the street to demand justice and call for reforms. It has been an inspiration. And minus a few days of violence, it has been peaceful, and it has been in the American tradition. And what we have here today is a hearing in the U.S. Congress to examine policing practices in America and paths to reform. And so we have an opportunity. What we have seen since then is an opportunity to rethink the nature of policing, an opportunity for meaningful accountability in policing, and it is an opportunity to show the nation and the world that we are listening and that we will act. Too often this debate is framed in terms of citizens versus the police, us versus them, but this is really about the kind of America we all want to see. We all want to be safe in our communities. We all want the police to come to our rescue when we're in trouble. We all want to support the brave men and women who put their lives on the line for us every day. And when we interact with police, we all want to be treated with respect, not suspicion. Nobody should be subjected to harassment or excessive force just because of the color of their skin, and no one should suffer the indignities of racial profiling or be on the end of a deadly chokehold.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No peace!
I can't breathe through shirts.
No peace! No peace! You can't stop the revolution! You can't stop the revolution! You can't stop the revolution!
Cities around the world have caused people to become a greedy, selfish, and litigious society. Would you like to be happier, live longer, never be forgotten, and help make the world a kinder, more civil place? It's actually easier than you think. Every day you're asked, "How are you?" Instead of saying good, say, "I am fantastic." It will make you look better, feel great, and reduce your stress. Making the world a better place starts with each person. Please join the Be Fantastic movement today. What you want to be, you can be. Be fantastic.
I met Dr. Fantastic along life's way, and I heard him say, "You are fantastic, yes you are. You are fantastic, you're a